event with us. I also want to thank Council Usman and Regional Council Joan for bringing this motion here. Personally, I would like to support every community, like that living peacefully in Markham. I just want to remind, like the mayor have explained everything in detail, so we need to have a policy in place. So I'm citing this because many years ago, we have an experience in the council. So we have the motion like genocide against Armenian, genocide against Sri Lankan. So we passed that. So when that happened, then all of a sudden, you have other communities come forward, just like the Chinese community came forward to ask me, what about the Nanjing massacre? That is a genocide too. So I was pressured to put that forward, and then it ended up with a lot of hot debate, because when you deal with a small country like Sri Lanka and Armenia, it's no big deal. But then as you started to deal with a bigger country like India, China, Japan, then there's an issue, because we do a lot of business with Japan. So, whatever we do, we can do it carefully. So I remember very well that, the mayor had spoken with me on that issue. I realized that, okay, but the precedent has been set, okay? So if you don't bring forward, then you upset one community, right? Because they looked at us, Markham have a double standard. That's why I always claim American have double standard. Human rights only apply to China, Iran, or Russia, but doesn't apply to the Arab dictator like Saudi and Egypt. So this is, they can do whatever they want. But so I just want to make sure that, every community that living in Markham will be respected. And I have no issue. Whatever we decide, all I hope is we need to have a consistent policy. That's all I am asking. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I'll just say a few things. I do want to say thank you to the deputants. There were 14 of them, and they spoke with passion, and they spoke with feeling and understanding of the situation. They knew what they were talking about. Some of them were Canadian born, and some of them had come over here and had terrible things happen to family and friends. And so I really appreciate that. The Tamil community is one of the great communities in Markham, and I too have been to many events and still haven't learned how to pronounce the last names as well as I'd like, but I try my best, and have had great times, as we all have, with the Tamil community, and their contribution to this great city is so important. There are difficulties in running a municipality. The 13 of us as council and as staff, etc., that is such a diverse municipality, with so many people who are not born in Canada, who bring with them, just as we all did, our ancestors all did, except for the indigenous people, but mine did 120 years ago or so, and others have bring with them the issues that confront them back home, that in many cases led them to leave back home and come here. It's no different. Yeah, and we have tried our best over the years to deal with the diversity of this community. It is one of the challenges. It is one of the things that make different running municipalities now versus 20 or 30 or 40 years ago. And it is something I welcome, but it has got its more difficult points, and the mayor outlined them quite well. We dealt with, in the zeros, much more than we do now, with the Armenian community and the issues that it confronted. And we set up, we passed resolution, not that different than this. And we then set up, I've forgotten the name of it, a park or a garden area in one of our parks. just north of 16th. We've already done this. It's not new. That being said, we have heard also requests for us to get involved in the Nanjing massacre situation. We've heard people coming to us saying, what can we do about the democracy issues, et cetera, in Hong Kong. We've had the issues with the Black community last year, which the mayor's committee was set up and established, and properly so. This will not stop. This will not go away. There's something coming around the corner. I don't know what it is. Nobody knows what it is, but there's more to come. And it's probably quite a good idea to try to develop a policy. So I will vote for what the mayor is talking about when I'll go to him. To Councillor Usman. After Councillor Usman, I will go to the mayor and he can make his referral motion, and that there's a second already. But I can add the Greek community, the Armenian community, the Jewish community. I also hope, and I don't want this to go very long. Somebody mentioned, I think Councillor Ray mentioned September. No. We had 14 people, 13 Tamil and the Consul General's office from Sri Lanka. I think they want us to move reasonably quickly. And so therefore, if somebody said by the end of May, which is now only 5 weeks away or 6 weeks away, I think would be quite reasonable, and for us to do that. But to be putting it way off, I don't think it's a good idea. The other thing is, I would like a little bit more work done on the therefore clauses. And I think the amendments that Councillor Usman and Regional Councillor Jones brought in were good ones, but there may be a few other places where they should be reflected as well, in order to make sure that it reads and conveys what we would like it to convey. I think it's a good resolution. I would have voted for it, and I support it. But I think a little work could be done on that before we come back with a policy. A motion for us. Councillor Usman?
Said it earlier. I don't want
a little louder, Helen. It's
okay.
Just,
can you hear me?
yes, it just seems faint.
Oh, I'm surprised. People tell me.
And that's a surprise for you, Councillor Usman.
That's what I mean. Everybody tells me I speak too loud. You're the person who's saying, oh God. Anyways, Mr. Chair, thank you. The issue is, and as I said, that I do not want it, and I think Councillor Ray was saying in September, that's too late. I mean, the urgency is the community wants things. I can understand what the mayor is saying. So I like what Regional Councillor Jack Heath said, that maybe by the end of May, if you can bring it back, I'd appreciate. But the idea is not to sway this application just because we're going to be making a policy. I mean, the very thing that we take pride in Markham is, besides being the multicultural and all, but we say we celebrate diversity. That is exactly what it means. Let's listen, we went through this, a very tough one of flag raising issue, but we did it because we believe in it. Similarly, this is a community, a very important part of our whole population that is needing something to help them. And as I said, it's too bad that it has gone into an international sort of debate where we did not talk about, and I said it up front, no genocide, no war crimes, nothing to do with us, just want the local community to whereby they can feel at peace. And that's what it was. It's a recognition of our local community, not the Tamil community back home, not the Sri Lankan government back home, not anybody else. It is for people that have decided to make Canada their home and have decided Markham is their home. It is for them. It is for their comfort. And that's what I'm saying, Mr. Mayor. If your resolution has a end date saying by the end of May, bring it back. I'll be more than happy and agree with yours. Otherwise, I think I don't know what else I can do.
I'll just add one point I'd forgotten. When I looked at the resolution, and now just I'm looking at the details, the fourth paragraph in therefore the funding of this needs to be arranged by the community through fundraising efforts within the community and once attained. I think it should happen at the same time. I think that the city of Markham should, if this is how we resolve it and work it through, we should designate where it might be before it's even attained. It should be said, we think we would like it in X, Y, Z location, and you need to attain $2 million, or you need to attain whatever it is. I don't think you can should do it one then the other. I think they should be done simultaneously. That's what is part of the thing I was thinking about, doing the wordsmithing, etc. In the meantime, I'll now refer to the mayor who is reaching out to turn his mic on.
Well, thanks, Mr. Chair. I'm going to move that this motion be referred to staff to develop a citywide policy on memorials. And I absolutely agree with Councillor Usman. We celebrate diversity almost every day, if not every day, certainly every week. There's no week that goes by we don't celebrate diversity. But when it comes to recognizing international conflict and using public plans and then determining how we move forward, I do think we need to be thoughtful about that. So that's my motion. I'm okay with bringing it back in the fall. I think it would be very unfair to staff at this point to take the amount of time that they would need to bring this back to us before the end of May, in the best of times, Mr. Chair, let alone when we've got all kinds of issues that I think everyone is aware of. I don't need to even state it. So I understand the want, the need to get a quick answer to turn this around. But in fairness, I think they'll need time to both research a number of things, perhaps what other cities do in relation to memorial monuments on public land, and perhaps do some research about thresholds and criteria and all kinds of things, which I don't think can be turned around by the end of May. I don't think it can. Certainly staff can comment on that. But so I support this coming back in the fall, given everything that we're contending with right now. And again, to be thoughtful about it and to be deliberate about it. I think our staff will need the time to do that work. So that's the motion. And I believe Deputy Mayor Hamilton seconded it. And, you know, you want to try and make amendments to it, I guess that's always a possibility. But let's make sure, again, we're doing this correctly.
Well, Mr. Chair, I'm going to make an amendment.
Unless I'm mistaken, we can't amend that. We now just vote. And so we have a motion to refer back to staff. And you did say September as opposed to the fall. Remember, the fall goes to the mid-December.
I thought the fall, but no later than the end of October. Again, I think, you know, it's easy to say this is like we're in May almost, and you know, nice to say that I don't think we know yet what other issues we're going to have to contend with over the next couple of months. So let's just leave it. And yes, I do think we deserve an answer, and I think staff deserves time to properly research and think this through and then come back to us. So certainly no later than the end of October if you want a specific time. I just didn't know whether the fall was going to be okay. But I can live with no later than the end of October.
Okay, all those in favor?
Mr. Chair, can we have a recorded vote?
No, not in committee. No, no, no,
Hey,
no. No, we can only do that in council. So, sorry, Don. Thank you, but that's the wrong council you've got there. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I want to thank Councillor Usman and Regional Councillor Jones on the work they've done on this. And there's still more coming. Okay, thank you very much. Now, we got to keep going with the agenda. We canceled the MEC meeting that was happening this afternoon. I'm sure it will show up in the near future, but it's canceled for this afternoon. We're now on 10.1, staff awarded contracts for the month of March 2021. And the Councillor Ray pulled out number 12, which I think is 159, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I spoke to Trinella when we had a break, so she's going to check on information and then provide an email back to all of council on it.
So what was the question?
Part of it was questions that we had back and forth with the new provider, and then the other one was on page 161. There's a comment in there saying that the design is lowered to 200 from 250. So my question was, will they do the design for us? And the cost is covered because I pay somebody independently to do the design for mine. So is that $200? Can we have that towards the cost?
Oh, so Commissioner Kane is going to answer that and certainly copy all of us so we can see it.
Right.
That's good. Okay, you'd like to move that one, Councillor Ray?
Yes, thank you.
Is there a seconder there? Councillor McAlpine, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much. I must say in there is the Integrity Commissioner. And I read it very carefully, not in this one, but elsewhere. And I wasn't feeling well about a week ago. I'd eaten something wrong and I had to leave when we dealt with it up at the region. And I am not 100% sure what happened there. I'm pretty sure. But I'll tell you, I was not pleased with the Integrity Commissioner up at the region. I have been very much involved with the Integrity Commissioner, the process up at the region, and was very worried about shopping, people shopping for the best code of conduct in order to log their complaint. And that's exactly what happened. Mayor Scarpitti is smiling because he avoided me making a speech on the subject, didn't have to listen to me. And I didn't because I was home and sick on the couch. Anyways, thank you very much. Let's keep going. Okay. Oh, yes, yeah, we're back at 9.1. Is Rob Gretsch here?
I am, yes.
Oh, sorry, what, the Integrity Commissioner comes next at 10.2. My apologies, I won't repeat myself. Rob Gretsch, are you here? There's Rob. There's a presentation on the Markham Village and Unionville flood mitigation study. Sorry, Rob, about this taking so long to get you on.
Oh, that's absolutely fine. So can everyone see the presentation that I've now shared?
Yes, we can, and we can hear you.
Perfect, fantastic.
It's been a problem off and on all day.
Okay, so I'm presenting the next project in the flood control study. This is Markham Village and Unionville, comes after West Thornhill and Don Mills. And so we're just going to provide a little bit of background as to where we're now at with the flood control program and what we're doing. Go through the Markham Village Unionville study findings. do a brief update on the program finances and look to next steps again on the Markham Village Unionville project. It's also important to note that this is not the last you'll see on this specific project. The intent here is we'll be going to the public if council endorses the proposed plan. We'll run public meetings, make sure everyone is happy with the proposed plan, and then come back to council to finalize this implementation plan. So just briefly, so in February 2013, council approved the 30-year flood control program. We've updated the rate structure in 2019. So the current rate is $51 a year for residential properties and $28.50 per year, per 100,000 CVA for non-res. West Thornhill and Don Mills Channel projects are ongoing. We're expecting to finish both of these projects in 2026 and 2028 respectively. And Markham Village Unionville is now next. And so this is our new intent. So the project that we're going to look at today is actually the front end planning piece where we reviewed all of the areas, figured out which is the most high risk and prioritized upgrades. It's also a key thing to remember too, that this work was accelerated fairly significantly in the program. So it was originally planned for after 2030. And we're now looking at doing this work. Well, we've started it already, but started construction much sooner. So this is just a map summarizing all of the projects in the plan. So just go through very quickly. So the West Thornhill projects are on the bottom left here, of course. Purple is the completed projects. That's phase 1 and 2 of the study. This yellow and green area is phase